What made the decision for selecting India as the first region for establishing the Center of Excellence in the Deloitte world?
If you want to create simulations, there's lots of competencies that need to come together. Ability to work with data, ability to do data science, ability to work with algorithms, but also business knowledge. And here in India, we have the best basis to bring this all together. And that's why I'm very happy and proud.
Hi, Nicolai.
Hey, Anjani, how are you?
Very well. A very warm welcome to you to the Deloitte Center for Innovation and Technology, Bangalore.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here. I'm really happy to be here.
Nicolai, I wanted to understand from you what made the decision for selecting India as the first region for establishing the Center of Excellence in the Deloitte world.
I'll answer that in a few seconds, but I just want to say I'm also totally excited. For me, a dream comes true, actually. When I started my career 25 years ago, we already did a little bit of Monte Carlo simulations for IPO preparation for the auctioning of the UMTS licenses. And we were thinking of how a simulation could look like. And now, 25 years later, we are actually here. And we are here in India for a reason, yes. Why India? If you want to create simulations, there's lots of competencies that need to come together. Ability to work with data, ability to do data science, ability to work with algorithms, but also business knowledge. And here in India, we have the best basis to bring this all together. And that's why I'm very happy and proud we have stood the center up in Bangalore.
And Nicola, what are you hearing the clients say across the world? Exactly like you, when I started my career as professional services advisors, we would go to clients with PPTs and tell them, this is the proposal, this is how we do it, this is the approach, this is the team. But all of that has changed, right? So what are you seeing in the market? How are clients wanting to feel, experience what we will do for them, or what are the benefits they will get?
Yeah, we have this claim, show, not tell, that already dates back when we started Deloitte Digital and showing digital interactions for clients. And I think the same is now true for AI. Our clients want to see show, not tell, because they have a sort of an understanding what you could do with AI, and in this case with simulations, but they don't really know how it's going to work because, of course, they don't have the experience yet. So they want us to show them in simulation models how we can bring all this together to help them take the right decisions.
And again, when we say simulation, it's a fairly broad term. The first thing that comes to your mind is simulation of a physical asset.
Yeah.
But then you can do simulation of a process, you can do simulation of people, you can do simulation of strategic choices. How are you looking at simulation, and what's the various kinds of simulations we're doing for our clients?
I mean, very broadly speaking, any decision that is not a binary 1-0 decision, and almost all the decisions are not binary, basically cry for simulations. Now, of course, you cannot create a simulation for everything. So it's very much around these decisions that are under uncertainty with many factors coming in, plus where in the real world, I would create lots of cost to test something out. I mean, you just mentioned the physical simulations and that you're also focusing in here. Creating a digital twin is so much less costly than building a physical product and then trying to simulate. So this is where the value then comes in.
Yeah. And are there any specific industries that you're seeing which have been the early adopters of simulation?
Yeah, it's interesting to also then hear your view. I'll answer from my point of view. So I think ever since digital became a topic, we've always seen consumer products retail very much on the forefront. They are close to the consumer. Plus, typically the risk of the technology failing doesn't create as much as damage as, let's take banking. And I think this has created a DNA that we see consumer products and retail companies in Europe and in the US moving very, very fast. How about your experience?
Yeah, so I think the asset simulations are, all the heavy industries wherever they are investing hundreds of millions of dollars, and before they take that decision and before they actually break ground, simulation is great. But we're also seeing places where people are also just simulating their balance sheet and P&L.
Yeah.
So for example, we work with an oil and gas company, and what they did was they were sourcing crude from different geographies, and then they were selling the refined to different geographies, and the taxation laws kept on changing. The crude oil price kept on changing. The logistics, the shipping costs kept on changing. So they had to simulate all of those to figure out what's the right source for the right customer. And they had, of course, manufacturing plants in about 50 odd countries. So simulating the multiple scenarios, and like you said, anything which has more than one outcome, that can be simulated. So we help them simulate that entire process in terms of where to source from, which shipping route to use, which manufacturing plant to use, which customer to sell to, which taxation jurisdiction to use. So again, so many variables, but they could clearly predict at the end of the quarter what would their financials look like if they took certain decisions, and they could take a call whether revenue maximization was the objective function or profit maximization, and things would change. So that's just one process simulation example.
And I think it's a great example because there are a few things come together. First of all, all the expertise you need to understand that regulation in different markets. You need lots of people to understand regulation, to bring this in, to then make a decision, and simulation on top. Now you can use AI to understand that regulation, to feed the model, and then you do the scenario simulation on the uncertainty. This is really super valuable for simulations.
Oh, absolutely. And coming, Nicolai, to the people part, what are the kinds of skills we need? What are the kinds of tools we need so that these simulations can become realistic, lifelike, and help clients make decisions?
Oh, that's a great question, because I'm a very, very strong believer in AI will not completely replace human jobs, but actually the human component will become critical, even more critical in the future in working with AI. So there will be a future with lots of AI applications that will help us take better decisions, but it requires humans who work with the AI. And so some of the skills that we will need are already there, like understanding data quality, data sources is extremely important, will become even more important, because as we all know, if we feed the wrong data, teach them to our model, it will bring out wrong decisions. The other part is, that is a new skill evolving right now, is the prompting, the ability to ask the model the right questions. And this requires a combination of understanding the business question, really understanding what the business is, and understanding what AI can do and cannot do, where the potential errors are. So that's a new skill evolving that will become extremely important. And then I would add something which will be coming is the ability to communicate in the right way to the humans on the other side of the table what the AI is producing. I think that's also an increasing skill that will become important.
So now we've inaugurated the first simulation CoE in Bangalore. What's next?
So first of all, this needs to grow. And I mean, we are just at the beginning of what technology can do around simulation. And the strength will come with increasing use cases, increasing learning cases and experience that we can all bring together. So the center will grow. What we will also do, and we already started a bit, is doing a hub and spoke model. So the hub in Bangalore, but having spokes in different parts of the world to be closer to our clients, bringing the clients into these spokes to work on the real client issues. What we're also doing, which I think will become much more important, is we're working here already with ecosystem partners. Working with a big ecosystem of partners for our clients will also become very important, and we'll work on creating these ecosystems relationships everywhere in the world.
Wonderful. So, I think the motto that we ask our clients to come in with a problem or a challenge and walk out with a solution is what simulation will enable. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Nicolai, for your time. It's been a wonderful having the conversation.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.